Now it seems like the shift is more players are leaving earlier, a lot faster than when I was in school.
Right.
So I think last year I was watching something. There was only one 4-year player taken in the whole draft, or something like that. The Pritchard kid for the Celtics. But
Right.
for me, coming back, I was still pissed off about losing in the Final Four. And
There
for
you go.
me personally, I thought 1 year wasn't going to make that big of a difference.
Right.
And me and Ty talked about it. Ty was coming back. I felt like, it might have been a little different if Ty, Wayne, everybody were leaving, but no, we were all on the same page. They were coming back. And so for me, I had talked to Coach Williams and my family, and I looked at some other players. Tim Duncan was a 4-year player.
For
And,
sure.
you can be a good 4-year player and then go on and be a good pro too. And
No.
so that was something that really registered in my mind. And so I wanted to come back and, I'd put a lot of work in and I had a lot to prove, and I still wanted to get a title because, if my jersey's on the front row and I don't have a banner hanging,
Right.
and in my mind, that's, the mission's not accomplished. I mean, I didn't come to UNC to hang a front row. I came here to be part of one of the greatest teams to play. And so I wanted that banner on the other end too. So that was.
Right. Right. So how was your senior year? How was that whole year for you?
Well, for me personally, I started off with a stress fracture in my shin. So I had to sit out early, put too much work in, and got an injury. And it was like a little nagging injury, and I just kept playing on it. And finally, one day I said something to the trainer, and we got an MRI. And sure enough, it was a stress reaction, stress fracture, whatever you want to call it. And so I was out for a little bit, and that was really frustrating.
Right.
But I put a lot of work in, and I came back to school, and I was really discouraged because I turned the NBA down, and the worst thing that could happen was for you to get hurt and basically sit out a large portion of the season. And so I started off kind of hurt and eventually worked my way back in my senior year. And I really felt like our team was so good my senior year that I didn't need to score every single game. It was almost like if Ty was going, I could sit back and kind of do some other things, get a lot of rebounds, play defense. If Wayne was going, and then DG had really stepped on, Danny Green was really playing well,
Mm-hmm.
and we had so many role players on that team. Bobby Frazier, who to me is an ultra competitor,
No
and comes in,
question.
he could have started on so many big major D1 schools, but
Yeah.
we had him coming off the bench. He was hitting big shots. And Deion Thompson, who is a heck of a player, was
Mm-hmm.
starting. We also had Ed Davis coming off the
Yep.
bench. I mean, so we were loaded. We had Tyler Zeller as well. Unfortunately, he got hurt for half the year. But, I mean, that team was so loaded that it was a pretty fun year. And I always felt like we were the best team on the court, no matter who we played. And I remember when we started ACC play, we actually lost, I think, our first 2 games. And it was really discouraging, but we figured it out and we had things rolling, and it was a good year. I think something that really helped us for the tournament, though, is losing in the ACC tournament. A lot of people think that's crazy because you never want to lose, but what it did was we lost early, and so we went back and watched the film and kind of figured out what we're not doing right, and we fixed it before the tournament. And so we really got that time to prepare and fix something that was a weakness and really made our team better before the tournament. And I really felt like that was something that helped us go on and win the whole thing.
Man. And so there it was. There in St. Louis.
It was
How
Detroit.
I'm sorry, Detroit. How was it when that buzzer went off and you were able to be the national champion?
For me, it was a relief, to be honest with you. There were
Right.
so many expectations, and I was playing through an injury the whole year. And it was a great feeling because coming off last year, we had lost in the Final Four, and we beat Michigan State in Detroit during the collapse of the economy. And so there was a bunch of people talking about how Michigan State's destined to win the whole thing. They're going to fix the car industry right here at the Final Four. And so we came through there, and we'd already beaten Michigan State by about 20 on that same field, on that same court.
Right.
I think about December. And
Right.
then coming back and winning the whole title, it was a relief for me because I was done with college. It's the best way to go out. And I know Ty, Wayne, and those guys, you know, Ed was even talking about the NBA. And so it was a good note to leave on. And it also gave those other guys that were thinking about leaving an opportunity to leave, because once you win the whole tournament, and it really makes sense to leave, you can leave college on a good note. But for me personally, it meant a ton to it meant so much to me, because all that work I put in up to that moment, from not only from at Carolina, but you know, you're like me. You know, I was sneaking into gyms when I was in junior high that had no AC, sweating,
Right.
putting in the work.
That's
and
right.
running in the track in the middle of summer when it's 105 out. And it was like all that stuff had meant something. It wasn't just for me. It wasn't just a meditation session for me to clear my mind and go put that work in. It's that all that work added to something that was more important to myself.
Right.
And it really made sense at that moment. And, you know, I've been chasing that feeling ever since, winning
Yeah.
like that. And I think as athletes, especially professional athletes, whenever you end your season on a win, it's like something that drives you to get that feeling again. And I would say sometimes not everyone likes winning, you know, but they hate losing more than they like to win, if that makes sense to anybody. Because winning on that last note is a great special feeling, and it makes all that work make sense.